What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, Gamescom is happening. It's about to pop off in like an hour and a half as of the time of this recording. So, I'm going to talk about something, obviously not Gamescom because I haven't happened yet, but I want to talk about that Wukong Black Myth. So it'll be like probably these two videos today. So whatever. Anyway, Wukong. So it comes to my attention at least that Wukong, like I know before I said, oh, PlayStation Money had it or whatever. Now I'm seeing that the PC version is the only version that's available for preview, which doesn't look good for PlayStation, because if the PlayStation version was the best version, the devs would put that one forth to show the public for preview. Since it isn't the best version, it's not the version that people are playing. They're playing the PC version. And yet and still, the PC version's having some issues. I mean, some people know, but there are some things happening, right? So I watched like 2 seconds of the Digital Foundry thing. I was like, whatever. And I watched King David. I watched a whole bunch of people, right? My thing is that I did get it twisted. So I take it back. PlayStation didn't money had it. What happened was, and I never thought of it this way, but now I got to open up my mind a little bit. Microsoft said, nah, son, this is hot trash. Fix this. Microsoft has higher standards, obviously, than PlayStation, because PlayStation says, yeah, put it on. Doesn't matter if it's hot trash. And you know it's hot trash because nobody's playing it. Nobody's previewing it. You see any footage of the PlayStation version? No. Why? Because it's hot trash. And Microsoft was like, nah, we have a higher standard for games, so you can put it over in the ghetto station over there, but ours is going to be right. Ours is going to be. Also, another thing that I don't know, I heard this somewhere about some other games or something, as far as Unreal Engine, right? So Unreal, this game is on Unreal Engine. And from what I understand, the Xbox, how the architecture is for the Xbox hardware, makes it easier for Unreal Engine to work, just, default, than PlayStation, because PlayStation is literally a PlayStation 4 Pro. So there are some caveats or limitations or discrepancies, let's just say, in the hardware that makes it a little bit more difficult, as I understand it, to get the full use of the Unreal Engine 5, as it was a 5.3 or whatever. I don't know what version it's on now. But that's how I understand it. And I said, oh, okay, that makes sense. And they prioritized the PlayStation version because they have more, consoles out there, but it's harder to do. So it changes my perspective on certain things. And I see what's going to dictate success for these companies are, it is A, hardware, it's B, the IP that they provide, and how healthy is their business so they can sustain their business the way that they're doing it. Now, PlayStation can get away with subpar hardware because they've been doing it since the PlayStation 4 Pro. Okay? And so, as far as the IP, they have some good IP, but their IP aren't popular enough to sustain the size that it requires to make those specific IPs. The one and done Sad Dad Walking Simulators that cost $300, it's probably gonna be $500 million dollars by next generation, in like 4 years or whatever. And the last, what was it, the IP, and what was the last one? I can't remember. It doesn't matter what the last one was, but they're very oh, the hardware. Was it the hardware? Oh, I think we said about the hardware. But anyway, the hardware not being as compatible with Unreal Engine 5 is a problem, because if you remember back in the 360 days, Unreal Engine was the main force in the success of a lot of games. And that's when Sony decided to do their bespoke engines, which that whole mentality at Sony, PlayStation, with the bespoke hardware / bespoke engine, is to stave off piracy. That's their main thing. They don't want people to be pirating their games and blah, blah, blah. That's one of the reasons why they didn't want to go to PC, because pirates, right? But in lieu of them not making any money, because PlayStation ponies and Donkey unicorns don't buy games, they're like, well, we gotta do something, you know? And so that's what's happening now. So as far as them doing bespoke hardware like they used to do, them days are over. And as far as them sticking with bespoke engines, we'll see. I mean, the Decima engine seems to be the most versatile and popular engine that they have in their lineup. I don't know what Naughty Dog is using. I forgot what it's called, but it's it's not Unreal or anything. But I would say that I mean, look, Unreal is cool. It's the most popular, it seems like, on the surface, but like with every engine, there are caveats, there are kind of shortcomings when it comes to things. And Unreal, there are shortcomings. There have always been like shader compilation issues with Unreal. Like, remember, I think it was 360 or Xbox One or the two. The textures will pop in, all the time, because it's just, I don't know how they did it, and it's still the same as I understand it, but it's more streamlined, obviously, and it's faster, but still, with bigger textures, higher resolution, it's still gonna bog it down, blah, blah, blah. So there's caveats, you take something away to give this a little bit more power, blah, blah, blah. So every team who uses Unreal will have to figure out a way for their specific project how to optimize the engine to perform, to have performance, or to be performant. And so, I mean, can Sony keep going with their bespoke engines? Sure, as long as they're just making in-house games. But at the same time, does it take them longer to make a game on their bespoke, like Decima engine, versus Unreal, which has a giant library of rocks and stuff, and all that, procedurally generated forest and rocks and stuff? It's like, yo, if you got forests and rocks and, I guess, desert, whatever, even cities, if you have that in your game, you click the button and a city pops up. You don't have to spend months building a city. I mean, you're gonna go in and tweak it and make it your own, but it's like the foundation is there. So that's why a lot of devs are going to Unreal, because it's just like, okay, I can start on step 5 instead of starting on 0 and build. Like for me, if I wanted to build do a video of a one shot of a drone flying through the city, I can either, I already downloaded Unreal Engine, but I have to sign in. I don't remember my settings. But I can go open up Unreal, do the city, generate it, and then probably export it as a, I don't know if I export it as an object. That might be a little too big, but I mean, whatever. As opposed to going in the Blender, building it there, or doing the geometry nodes, which is, I mean, it might be similar to what Unreal's doing, but who knows? I mean, look, there's different ways to do things, but for the uninitiated and for the person who knows what they want, but it's rather difficult to dip into Blender or Maya to get your hands dirty. I just opened up Blender yesterday. It's been a minute before I open it up, because I have the video that I'm gonna put out soon. It's called Sand, by the way. I'm working on it. I'm almost done with the music side of it and vocals. I still got to do some mixing and stuff. And I wanted to do something else with the video part, because I built it and I did like I'll tell you how I did it, right? So I shot a still image, not a static video of sand, basically in the sand. It's like, you know, the wind is blowing, the sand is going. I like dig a little hole, and there's just like a little water, sand and stuff. Not water, it's the sand. What I did, I projected that onto an object in Blender, and so I can move the camera through the scene, because I wanted like kind of a slow dolly. And I was thinking, like, when I was shooting, I was like, how can I do this? And I figured it out. But then I wanted to add some like a cell phone like stuck in the sand, or an Apple Watch or something stuck in the sand, Samsung watch, whatever watch. But that adds a whole nother layer of complexity, and I was like, well, I mean, I could do it, but it's going to take some extra time. You know, this is the whole issue with people, special effects in movies and stuff. When the special effects look whack, that means they didn't give the artist enough time to actually get in there and fix everything, you know. The more time you have, the better it's going to look, period. Anyway, so I might just keep it just for the shot, and it's a lyric video, basically, so it's not like a whole giant production. And that's what I'm trying to do for these videos right now, because it took me altogether 4 months to do the On You video, but realistically it was like a year, because it was like on and off working on it. And there's so many different shots, and I have to do every shot, and there was a lot of green screen in that one too. So I was like, look, I can't do that for every video, because, you know, it'll take me forever, 1,000 years to put out a video. So I'm trying to find economical ways, not economically, but time-wise economical ways to get these videos done for you guys. Because like I said, songs, I could spit them out all day long. I could probably do a song a week if I wanted to. If it was just the song, just the music and the lyrics and the record, I could do in a week. Yes, I could do that, but I always want to put a video to it. So that's my dilemma. So if you guys have any ideas, I mean, I'm trying to do it as you know, with a visual element, but also, you know, not too elaborate, so I could get more out to you. And I'm trying to get this one out before August, so maybe like August 31st I'll release it or something. But definitely want to get this one out, Sand, before September. And then the plan is to probably gonna have a Halloween song after that one, because I'll need like September and part of October to work on that one. So yeah, that's the plan so far in my brain. And then we'll see for the next one, because remember, I owe you guys 3 songs, so I haven't forgotten. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. But yeah, Gamescom, I'm excited. You know, I stopped really falling for the banana in the tailpipe for the hype that especially Aaron Greenberg says. So I'm like, they're like, oh, it's the biggest booth in the world we ever had. I'm like, look, I don't just do a showcase like the last showcase, then everything will be cool. But don't blow it up like it's all this and that and stuff, and it's like hot trash garbage. Okay, I mean, it won't be, because they have plenty of stuff. Now, on the last thing about these Indiana Jones going to PS5 rumors and all this stuff and all this. And look, I keep seeing Tim Puppy, Tim Chihuahua, Tim whatever, Perrito. I keep seeing him, oh, I was right, all these games. I'm like, look, they're games. I put a post on, I replied to one of his things, because he said, yeah, I told you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I hope you're happy paying $70 for these games. You could have just been playing them on Game Pass or whatever. I mean, you may not be broke or whatever. I'm not broke. I could buy all these games, or the games that I want to buy, obviously, because I've been doing it, you know, for years. But I'm sub to Game Pass. And honestly, here's the thing. You know, like me, I am a collector. I'm on hiatus right now, because you can't just go crazy all the time, right? So I am a collector, video games especially, consoles, all that stuff. And if I really want a game, I'm gonna buy it. I'll play it on Game Pass, but I'll also buy it, and it'll be like a collector's edition or something, you know, just to have the physical copy, because $70 at the end of the day is only $70. You know what I mean? Or $100 or whatever it is. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much money. And so I don't have a problem with buying the games. But in the long haul, it's different now, because back in the day, you buy a cartridge, it works. Blap, boop, no online, don't have to verify with the server, it works. Now it's different. And so the physical copy, is not as meaningful as it used to be. You know, before it was like, boom, like I said, you got the cartridge. It's like, oh man, oh, it's dirty. I got to open it. It's almost like a console in itself, the little cartridge, the hardware. You know, that's why, I mean, I give props to Nintendo. I mean, they're little cards and stuff, but still, it's still hardware, and it's still, the physical element of it still holds value because, well, kind of, sort of, because there's still an online element with the system itself. But that being said, if, like, say, Microsoft or Sony, which I doubt they'll do this, but say if they went to a card system, like a SD card equivalent, kind of like what Nintendo's doing, right? Because these SD cards hold a lot. I mean, they could be like they hold 256 gigs, right? How much would a 256 gig card, you know, SD card cost, you know, depending on the speed and stuff? And is it worth it to have something like that instead of disk drive, doing the disc? I know discs are cheaper to make and cheaper to sell, blah, 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 but they degrade. They don't last forever. That's another problem with that physical media. You know, all those 360 discs, all those Xbox, OG Xbox discs, PlayStation, they will degrade eventually. I mean, it may take 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, but they will. You know, I remember having old CDRs, and you know, this is when we were burning CDs, and I'm doing music, so I'm like just burning tracks on, like, yo, check these out, and give them to like the artist, whoever I'm working with, so they could have it. And those things, they didn't have protective coating on the data side. So if y'all don't know, CDs, it's plastic. It's a plastic little donut, right? The top side where you have the writing, that's plastic. The bottom side is like the metal flake. I don't know what metal they use, but it's like a metal foil flake, right? And you know, the laser burns little holes in it for the data. And there's no protection on that. So a lot of the old discs that I had started flaking off. I'm like, why is this flaking off? And so the data would be destroyed, basically. Depending on, you know, you can usually see where the sectors are on the disc when you put it in the right light. Anyway, point is, that technology has a life, a shelf life. And it's not forever. And so cartridges, they last longer because, I mean, unless there's like a battery in it or some type of capacitors. You know, capacitors you can replace, clean it up. I watch, I forgot what his name is, but I think he has alopecia now. And he used to have hair, but he doesn't now, so whatever. But anyway, he buys all kind of stuff and he cleans them up. He cleans, does the microscope, do the trace here, he's fixing them all. I'm like, oh, okay, you know, you can fix stuff. And that's cool. That's another element of collecting. You could take something that's trash, garbage. Oh, let me open it up and see what's, oh, it's just dirty. And you clean it up and it works. It's like the way I got my PS1, I was in a thrift shop. And I was like, looking around, looking at the old TVs and stuff. And I looked like behind the TV, somebody shoved a PlayStation back there. I was like, what they play there? I went back and grabbed it. I was like, yo, why y'all trying to hide this? How much? $20. I take it. It was so brand new. This PlayStation was like no scratches. It wasn't the RCA one. I think it was the model after or whatever, but that doesn't matter. But anyway, no scratches, no nothing. No discoloration, like it looked brand new. I was like, yo, I still got it. And it had Gex. I think it had Gex in it or some goofy game. I was like, oh well, free game and just the console, no controllers. But I think I got the controllers at another thrift shop. I don't know, I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, you know, and I think I plugged it in. I played it once. I was like, hey, it works okay. And like PlayStation 2, I got it from like a garage sale. Had Guitar Hero in it. I plugged it in, played it once, put it on the side. I had a PlayStation 3 with Uncharted 3. Played it once, then I gave it to somebody. You know, so you know, I am a collector. I will collect. I will get back to collecting. Another tangent on the tangent. I saw that Indian dude. I think it was Indian. And he had like he had the Guinness World Record of the most consoles and stuff attached to one TV. And I was looking, he was like, oh yeah, he has a whole separate computer for the database in order to know how to turn on each system. Go, oh, that one's G5 and this one's a bank. I'm like, wow. He's got, that's crazy. That's when you go, I wouldn't say you have a problem, but he's probably got money or whatever. So I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool, because he's like, it has a setup like, if you have OCD, you probably go crazy because it's just consoles everywhere. But it wasn't, it was organized, but still it looked like organized chaos. And so I'm like, I'm never gonna get like that, because I would rather display them so that they look cool, rather than having the ability to plug them in and play them all the time. Because, you know, if I have 3 or 4 different versions of like Power Drift, for example, I'll get the MAME, I'll MAME it and be like, boom, I'm gonna play this version because A is the best version, and B, I have 3 other versions of it, but it's not like I'm, you know, stealing. Look, if Sega, I said this, I'll say this every time, if Sega sold the ROMs for their arcade games and they sold a little box that said, this is the Sega Arcade Super Scalar Arcade System, sold, I'm buying it all. Why don't they do this? I don't know. They just want to do a little pre-packaged. I'm like, look, go open up a store. They have a store already, but put your ROMs on the store and treat it like it's like Sonic that you sell to us now. Treat them like that. What's the problem? What's the problem? There's no license, nothing in it. There was with Outrun before, and they changed it. They changed the art. It's not a Ferrari anymore. It's whatever. And the Ferrari games, that's the issue. But whatever, I don't want that game. So I don't understand, man. I don't understand. I guess maybe it's too expensive to maintain a store, but they already do. Make it part of your arcade. Listen, man. I don't know, man. They should do it because they would make money, and people like me. And actually, I'm not even that bad. There's arcade dudes out there that would love that. They were like, oh, I could buy the ROM officially, and maybe you get, I don't know, a certificate that you could put, if you're building an arcade cabinet, slap it on there. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. The tangents are wild today. Sorry. But anyway, games comes in about an hour. We're going to watch that. Well, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to report on this, but I'm going to put this up. I'm going to try to put this up. I'm not going to put this up before, but these 2 videos will be up today. And yeah. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna continue to smack these ponies and donkey unicorns through the internet, because it's just like, why y'all so crybabies? And I agree with Dirt and Sean, where Phil was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do, and then these pony bots out there like, yo, oh my gosh, yeah, that was a cool Xbox showcase, and then they get upset when something announced. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they already said that. Like today, this was with what's his name? This is the last thing. With King's video, he was saying like how people were upset about the price of the Xbox Series X disk drive 2 terabyte, and that was already put out there for $5. It was $5.99, and people are upset. I'm like, why are you upset? We already knew this, and I'm not buying that. I already got an X. Why would I buy that? It's the same thing with the X. No. I mean, it's cheaper than buying an X and a memory card additionally. And maybe that was the thinking behind it with Microsoft, but it doesn't look good to have a $600 console out there like that. It doesn't. Once again, though, not once again, but also, you know, the whales. There's whales out there who got money. Who's like, I want 2 terabyte. Let's go, you know. So that's fine. But yeah, I mean, people getting upset for no reason. They're just doing it to get content, to have content. Because honestly, when's the last time, I mean, PlayStation had an actual game? I'm not talking about Wukong, because that's not their game. And they'll be like, oh, I mean, J-Dub and all these fools are like, oh, Wukong's console exclusive. I'm like, yeah, idiots. I'm still waiting. I want to see what the PlayStation 5, how it performs on that. I have a feeling it's hot trash garbage, and that's why nobody's seeing it. Anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging out, showing my like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Wukong, you think that's why? Because it's hot trash garbage? I do. And all the stuff I said in between that has no relevance to nothing. I'm working on the music. I told y'all I was, and I am. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Till the weed.